Welcome back, my favorite AI developers, to a brand new video. And last week you picked your tool. Today we start the real project, the one we are building together for the rest of the series. I'm going to do something that feels a little bit wrong because we're not gonna have any plans, we're not gonna have any rules, we're just gonna have pure vibes. And that's gonna be on purpose, because you need to see the messy version before we add any of this stuff later on. A quick recap: last week I raised Claude Code, Codex, and Gemini on the same prompt, and honestly the gap between them has shrunk significantly. I'm going to stay on Claude, but like I said, you pick whichever model fits you the best. If you missed that video, it's going to be linked in the description or somewhere around on this video. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Michael. I've been teaching coding for the past 7 years, and in the last 2, I've been all in on AI coding. And a quick ask before we start: if you do enjoy the contents of this video, make sure to leave a like and a comment telling me what you want to see next, or if you have any questions regarding what we do today. It genuinely helps me out a lot with the algorithm. Also subscribe and turn on the notification bells if you want to see these kinds of videos every single week. My goal is to equip you with all the necessary tools that will allow you to conquer the upcoming century full of AI. Also, I made you something special, which is a free PDF 18 AI coding terms every Python developer needs. Tokens, context windows, all the words that come up while we build. Link is going to be in the description and pinned in the top comment, so go ahead and grab it, keep it next to you, and use it whenever there's a weird word that comes up, and it's free, so go ahead and grab it. Alright, so here is the plan. We are going to build a real project from start to finish until it's something that you can actually put online and show to other people. But today is going to be step number 1, where we build it in the dumb way. So no structure, no rules, because the messy version is going to be the baseline, and everything that I teach after this is going to be us fixing today's version. And the thing that we are going to be rebuilding is going to be this Pomodoro focus timer. I have used one every single day for over a couple of years now, and I actually pay for it. It's like $8 per year, and I like it, and the developer is very responsive, and I've had some issues and I've contacted them over X and they've actually fixed these issues. But for the last 6 months there have been things that I would like to fix. Some stuff with the UI, some stuff with the settings, some stuff with the way that I like to have it, like personally, for me, integrated. And that's the whole point of the series. Whenever you're using a tool that is almost perfect for you, but you would like to have this 10 to 20% better, now you have the power at the tip of your fingertips to actually make it happen. And that is the goal of this whole series. I want to equip you with that power, and I want to give you guidance on how to really take advantage of it. But one thing before we get started: you don't have to build this Pomodoro focus timer with me. In fact, I would rather that you actually didn't. I want you to pick something that you personally are using every single day. Something small, something annoying, maybe something that you're using but you're not fully satisfied with, and if it's something that you're paying for, that's even better. Just a few buttons, nothing huge, just to get started. So I'm gonna be building my timer, you're going to be building your thing, and the workflow is going to be exactly the same. Every move I make, you can make on your site. Before we get started, a quick thing that I want to be precise about. Claude Code is going to be the tool or the agent that we'll be using. The model is the thing that we're going to be using inside of that agent to create things. So when people say Claude versus Codex, sometimes they mean the tool, sometimes they mean the model. So keep those two separate in your mind. And real quick before we build, I ran this exact same prompt on different Claude-based models, and I just want to show you the results really quickly so that you can make an informed decision. Alright, so let's take a look at the results that we got. First of all, we have Haiku. As you can see, it's really cute. I can go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and take a look at Claude Sonnet 4.6. Pomodoro short break. Nice. I like the change in color. I want to focus on make YouTube video. Let's go ahead and go to Pomodoro start. This is Opus 4.8 on low effort. I want to focus on make YouTube video. Let's go ahead. As you can see, this is high effort, Opus 4.8. If I run, I like the animation more. I like the coloring more, honestly. Let's see, I can switch to short break. It changes color, focusing on YouTube video. All right, so I go this, it resets. All right, very nice. And the reason why I did this is because I know that most of you are going to be on the $20 plan if you're using Claude, or even if you're using Codex or Gemini, you're gonna be on the smaller plans. I'm on the $100 max plan. I'm forking out a lot of money, I know, but I'm using this every single day. You're still just experimenting and getting into it, so that's completely fine. If you can get the $100 model, I do recommend it because it will give you the full scope of things. But if you're under 20, you should be able to do this very easily. But I recommend that you do not choose the 4.8 Opus model, or if you do, at least keep it on a medium to max, or maybe even high, not even X high effort, because it will eat through your usage very quickly. And we're gonna talk about usage. Why? Because the usage is gonna be eaten if you're using more tokens, which is something that we're also going to talk about. And the more context you fill out, which is something that I'm also going to show you in just a bit, the more tokens that are eaten, the more usage that is eaten. So if you're on the $20 plan, it's gonna be over really quick for you. I recommend, if you're on the $20, to stick with the Sonnet and don't go for the Opus. Unless there is some big coding issue that Sonnet cannot resolve, then you can move to the Opus 4.8 on a certain effort and it will fix it for you. That's how you should use your workflow. I'm gonna be using Opus 4.8 all the time because I'm forking out the money and I need to make good use of it. All right, so here we are back in VS Code. As you can see, I've created a new folder, which is going to be a new project, which is the Pomodoro Focus Pure Vibes, nothing more. I'm gonna keep them and maybe compare them at the end of the series or whatever. First things first, I'm gonna go ahead and run Claude right here. As you can see, we are on Claude. I'm on the Claude Max, and you can read through everything. Now, the first thing that I want to show you is the / context, right? What I do want to focus on is this right here. This is going to be the context window, and you'll see that it fills up slowly. On the smaller plan, you're not gonna have a 1 million context window. You're gonna probably have like a 220K or 250K or just 200K. I don't remember exactly. But as you can see, there's some system prompts, some system tools, some memory, etc. These are things that we will cover later on. But there's also some skills in there, but nothing too complicated. So this is where all of the tokens are going to be kind of memorized, right? So as you're writing, this will increase and the usage will get higher. We'll also look at the / usage right here. So as you can see, on my current session, I've already used 9%. On the current week, I've used 5%, and this will reset every single week. And you also have a current week Sonnet only. This is probably just on the 100 max, on the $100 plan. So remember what it looks like right now, because later on I'm going to show you how it would look like afterwards. Also, we have configurations and status. So let's go ahead and paste in the prompt that we will use. Unfortunately, it's not showing right here. I'll just hit enter, and you can see that it says, build me a Pomodoro timer I can run in my browser. Now, before I continue through it, look at the tokens that are being eaten up. Very important. I did not change the model. I've stuck with Opus 4.8 on the medium effort or high effort. I don't fully remember what it was, but it's okay. It should do the job. So right here, I told it, big countdown in the middle, a Pomodoro work mode plus short breaks and long break modes. This is exactly similar to the application that I'm using. And let me type what I'm focusing on and show it under the timer. This is something that we will expand and work on later on. But for now, I'm just keeping it simple. No planning, no rules, just vibing, right? Keep the whole thing in a single HTML file. So I want to keep it as simple as possible and start a local server so that I can open it. And this is going to be the most important one. Notice I said a local server that I can open in my browser. Now, keep in mind, local host just means that it's on your own machine. It's not going to be something that's online. It's not going to be something that you can share with people. And don't share your local host with people. Not because it's dangerous, but because it's people are not gonna take you seriously ever again if you do that. It's a common meme in the AI space. people that don't have any experience, they say like, oh my god, look what I built, and they send in the local host. So we are not online, we are running this on our PCs. So I want you to use this prompt and as a template to create your own prompt for your own application. Don't overcomplicate it. Again, we're just vibing, right? We're just having fun, we're checking, and it's already done. So your Pomodoro timer is on the local host 8000. What it does, big countdown in the center, updating every second. Okay, everything lives in a single file. Really nice. Let's go ahead and just take a look at it. So you simply copy the local host. You can do this, but it usually opens in VS Code. Actually, I think this is a good place to look at it. All right, look at this. So you can see that I have the 25-minute timer. I have the short break, and I have the long break, and I like how it changes color without me telling it. Let's see if I run, will it change color? It doesn't. Okay, no problem. And I can type in making YouTube video. All right, very nice. So now I'm focusing on making the YouTube video. So I wanna stay on this original Pomodoro, right? So I want to take inspiration from the application that I'm already using and then continue. So as you can see, first of all, there's no reset button. So that's something that I will add. Let me show you. I'm going to literally take you through what I usually do. So, all right. So here are a couple of changes that I would like to make. I wrote them off screen. Okay. First of all, I always like to tell it that it's done a good job, or I'd like to tell it if it hasn't done a good job. These are very important. Okay, looks good. I like how it functions. I usually like to also give it number the things that I would like to change. And as you can see, I've added a few more than I usually like. I prefer to focus on one thing at a time for it to build it and then come back and look at it. But I've added a couple of just to give it some time. One, please remove the reset button. I don't need it. 2, add a small arrow next to the start that allows us to go into the short break, and from the short break allows us to go back to the Pomodoro focus. Later on, we will work on the long break so that it happens every 4 times or something like that. Allow me to add multiple tasks at the bottom. So instead of just having one task that I'm focusing on, I can stack the tasks. And keep track of the number of Pomodoros that we've done with a simple number. And by the way, we're clearly taking inspiration from the person that made this Pomodoro. All right, so let's go ahead and hit enter. Now, you'll notice something at the bottom. You can see next to my auto mode, there is something called a one shell. Now, if I go into this one shell, you can see that it's been running for 7 minutes and it's using UV run Python. This is something that is probably going to suggest for you to install. You can just hit yes, 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 going forward. And it creates this thing right here. You don't need to understand everything about it. You can just stop it with an X right here. And basically, this is going to be the shell that's running in the background that automatically updates what you see right here. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to update automatically. I think it will, but on the browser, it updates as we are working on it. So I'm going to come back when it finishes its task here. All right, so seems like it's finished very quickly, like 57 seconds. It only took it 57 seconds. As you can see, nothing has changed, even though it tells us that the server fresh from disk, you just need to refresh, a couple of small behaviors, the increments, yeah, I don't like to open it right here. I probably prefer for it to be in the browser. I'm just gonna hit refresh and we're gonna see what the result is. All right, very, very nice. So as you can see, it now looks a lot better. So for example, I'm gonna say record YouTube video. Enter. Very nice, very nice. I like this. I like this. Edit the video. Build 1 billion, if I can type correctly, $1 billion application. All right, so I'm gonna focus on building $1 application. I'm gonna hit start. Let's see what happens when I go to the short break. Okay, very nice. I should tell it to start automatically. That's something that I really, really like. And if I continue again, I go back to the Pomodoro and I start again. And you can see that I'm still on 0 Pomodoros. This is something that we will need to test over time. But ladies and gentlemen, we've actually built something. As you can see, we've built something that is actually working. It's actually ticking down. You can actually add tasks to it. You can switch to short breaks. You can go to long breaks. I'm gonna later on test how, if it actually increases the Pomodos that we've done or not. This is something that will need time. Maybe I'm gonna make the Pomodo time a little bit shorter, right? So that I can test like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, things like that. But it's working and it's great. And I really, really like it. Now, two things before we continue on. No, that's the exercise that I'm gonna give you in just a bit. But before we continue on, I want to check, first of all, the context window, even though we haven't done much, so I don't expect it to be filled up too much. But as you can see, it's slightly increased right here. Now, when you're working for hours and hours, this is gonna be filling up really fast. Another thing that I would like to look at is the usage. So remember, it was 9%. I doubt it's gonna get a lot higher than this. All right, so as you can see, it's now 10%. As you can see, you can also look at it's used also Haiku. So this is the smart thing that it does. It uses smaller models for tasks that do not require too much thinking. So that is great. And as you can see, the timer is going down, and I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna actually start using it and not pay the $8. At some point, I'm probably gonna do it, or maybe I'm gonna launch my own application. Who knows? We're gonna see where things go. Now, before we move on, as always, as I've told you, my goal is to always have you actually practicing, right? I want you to go through this exercise yourself. I want you to take a small everyday tool that you've picked. If you want to build the Pomodo timer with me, go ahead. The description, the prompt is going to be linked in the description and the top comment. I want you to iterate through it. If you have the time, do as much as you possibly can. Take inspiration from the application that you are using or from the Pomodo that I just showed you. There is some kind of copyright infringement, but again, I chose the Pomodo because it's not something that is uncommon. Like, there are hundreds of Pomodo applications, so you copying one of them is not gonna be a basis for a lawsuit. I'm just saying. All right, so this was fun, definitely fun. It was a little bit messy, but that's the whole point of this video. Next week, we're gonna stop being passengers and we are going to give our agent some rules, a file that tells it how to work and what the standards should be. It's gonna be the same project, but you're gonna see that it's gonna behave very differently when we specify exactly what we're looking for without without it making most of the decisions. And before you go, make sure to grab the free PDF file that I've given you in the description and the pinned top comment, which are the 18 AI coding terms that every Python developer needs. As you can see, today we've used a lot of words like tokens, context windows, usage. All of that is going to be in this free PDF that I provide you with. And if you got to this point, please make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bells and all of that fun stuff, because as I said, I need to beat the YouTube algorithm. And for the people that made it to this point, obviously this video is for you. So yeah, I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.